Oh shit, guys, we're supposed to be recording right now, not playing
Are
our
we?
switches. Yeah. Shit. Let's get the show going. I'm Sean.
I'm Jacob. Sorry.
I'm David,
I'm Kyle.
and we're the guys with beards.
That is
Hey.
definitely not playing our switches
Yeah, we're not.
before we're
Still,
recording or anything like that.
That'd
be weird.
I'm not playing on the side still, and
Definitely not. Definitely not. That would just be like totally just unprofessional.
totally.
So we're talking about the Nintendo Switch today,
Ironically enough.
and it's been out for like 3 years now. So we want to talk about how it is right now, where it started, where it is right now, and like how we feel it's gonna go in the future. So
Absolutely.
the first person to get a Switch here was David, right?
Yep, in the world. You know,
Yeah.
Miyamoto
person
came
ever.
to my house and said, David Trains, I need you to take the Nintendo Switch, and I need you to play it, and I need you to give positive and negative feedback on it.
Like,
So-
I just see David as like the terminal montage Kirby
Yeah.
sitting at the door, just
So what was your first thoughts when you first got the Switch
Okay,
back
so-
in the day?
It was March 2nd, 2017. I was a freshman in college, right? And it was the night of the release, and I've been waiting for this moment probably since December, because that's when the announcement was.
Yep.
So I've been waiting so darn long for this system, so long, and just getting hyped and hyped and hyped for it. And when I first got it, it was fantastic. It was Breath of the Wild playing, and I didn't even play it on the TV. I played it handheld because I think that's what most people did, right? So because they want to see how well it is in handheld, and it just blew my mind of how beautiful the Great Plateau was. As soon as like the first time I went on there, sitting on my bed, playing the Switch, and it was fantastic. Right? So even before that, even when December hit and they did when they unveiled it, I was like, oh, this looks really cool. Then they put Skyrim on that bad boy, and I fucking exploded.
And then David never stopped playing it.
Right? I think that's where the meme basically started, that Skyrim's on everything. Like, that was like, okay, Skyrim's going to be on your phone, Skyrim's going to be on your smart fridge, you know. So
I mean, I think that was like the final straw that nowhere is safe from Skyrim.
Yeah.
It is on everything.
To be fair,
legit.
I think it was a good business decision to put it on.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
It kind of.
I mean, it was like the final like nail in the coffin, because Skyrim was on PC at this point already, and now you got Skyrim. Literally, you can go wherever you want with Skyrim, and that to me is like the embodiment of
that
like
was a huge deal.
the perfect gaming experience.
Yeah, it's like, because it's in not only like how that game, like, even though it came out in 2011, like, it was still like a huge deal that the third party support, that there was going to be those big studios maybe on this console. That's what got everyone hyped. Oh, I want to see Call of Duty on this system, or I want to see whatever, like or it was some big third.
Is there a Call of
game.
Duty on it, by the way?
There's no Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't think so. I was just curious. Yeah, you know, curb your Call of Duty.
I'll be honest, when the Switch first came out, I didn't like it. I didn't buy one.
You're a hater.
I was a hater, and because I bought a Wii U, and I feel like Nintendo just kind of threw the Wii U to the side. They said, you know what, we're done with the Wii U now, even though everyone bought it. We're giving up on it, and we're moving over to the Switch.
So you're probably still a little bit hung up on that.
I mean, I think it rubbed me the wrong way, and I was like, well, fuck Nintendo. I'm not buying a Switch then. And I was pretty upset with them. And after a while, I caved because Smash Bros. Came out. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to get a Switch now. And after the first week, I loved it.
Yeah.
I literally fell in love with
I
the
remember
Switch.
we went on our trip, and you literally bought like 40 games for the Switch.
Yeah. Just because I'll say this, kind of similar to Steam, Nintendo's smart with their store is that they'll put like super deals. Like, you guys know the game Overcooked?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, the game was like $3 the other day. And it's like, okay, it's $3. I'm just
They are
buy it.
very, very smart with their store. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm compulsive with that stuff. When it comes to video games and I see a game for $3, it's over. If I have even mild interest in it and it's $3, I'm gonna buy it.
I mean, it's a very, very smart marketing strategy, honestly.
it wasted a lot of
Um,
money, but I have a shit ton of games on my Switch now. Like a
I mean,
shit ton.
I bet you they're making a lot of money off of just those small sales because I'm
Oh, yeah.
you are not the only person of that
Yeah.
mindset. I bet you
People
everybody
like
goes,
me.
ooh, $3 right now
And
I'm buying this,
it's
and then
nothing, yeah.
sales.
They even
right.
have these horrible games that are like $1. You just kind of buy it anyway. Like it reminds me of like the App Store.
Yeah, I was about
like-
to say the Switch is a little bit like a mobile device in a couple ways. You just get
Yeah.
like so many like I'm going to call them fourth party games.
So what do you
where
guys
it's
play
just
mostly?
the bottom barrel.
What do you guys play mostly? Handheld or TV mode?
Oh,
I'm TV
handheld.
mode personally.
Handheld.
TV mode personally.
Yep.
I use both.
I mean, I used
Both.
handheld initially at first. I mean, so where I started with the Switch was also in college. It was a little bit after David had gotten it, and mine was a complete impulse buy because I was pro college student. And I was like, I don't really have that much money to be spending on, a console. And I was just like, I was out at the mall one day with I don't know who else was with me. Feels like it was either Alex or Caleb, and we were just like, saw the GameStop store. I always just by habit, I will always go into a GameStop store in a mall, just because like either like demo some free shit, just the inner kid in me, just like I don't know. I see like free console, play Crash Bandicoot for 5 minutes, and so I just like get into the store real quick.
I
and
wish
then
they
I
had
see,
VR headsets at the GameStops
Oh
and
no,
shit.
no.
Yes.
So
They
many
do
people
have
would puke. So many people would throw up.
They have them at some malls. Like
Yeah,
I remember
when we were down in
Florida.
Florida. Yep.
Yeah, Kyle, we went to a VR
Yep.
place in the mall.
But yeah, and I was just like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, maybe I should buy the Switch because there's one right there, and I know at the time they were like, it was just after that first wave had come through, and most people most of them had been bought, and I was just like, fuck, where am I going to find a Switch if I ever wanted one? It was like right there, and I was like, it wasn't exactly the bundle I was looking for. I was looking for like Breath of the Wild if I was going to get it, but it was the Odyssey bundle. And I was like, I mean, I haven't played like a good Mario game in a minute, so I just, full send, bought the Switch. And I was like, you know what? I'm of the firm mind that I have never regretted it, impulse buy in my life, and to this day, I still use the Switch. But yeah, I play a lot of games on it. I play mostly Smash. I really really enjoyed Odyssey. I have not beaten Breath of the Wild because I don't technically own it. But these days I play a lot of smaller games like Enter the Gungeon. For me personally, the Switch is the best when it's using indie games. I just think that's what it's best for. Mobile indie games, perfect. Now that we have stuff like Hades on it, we're in business, baby. It's prime time.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
back in the day, I thought it was a big novelty, like playing games on my phone. Like, I thought that was super cool, but the controls suck. It sucks. The graphics aren't that good, at least on my phone. And the fact that the Switch came out and you can play these console games on the go is pretty insane to me. And
Hell yeah.
the fact that you can switch between it just kind of blew my brains. And like, I'm just looking at the collection of games they have now. Like, they have newer games coming out, like Mortal Kombat 11, right? Fairly newish game, right? Not super new, but it's on the Switch. And then you have old classics like just like you wouldn't expect this. They have Grim Fandango on the Switch.
Well, that
They
is
have
right.
the
They do have that on there now.
original Final Fantasy VII. They have Outrun, a racing game from
Oh,
the
yeah.
1980s
Oh yeah,
arcade.
yeah.
Fucking Outrun, dude.
I love Outrun, dude.
And I don't know. It's just they have fucking Uno. Like
They
have
they have everything,
everything.
and that's what like we talked about this at another podcast. I think it was the actual Nintendo podcast or whatever one. It was like Nintendo's really good at making family like just everything. Like their whole thing is like, yep, we're gonna make a system that everyone can have in the family. You're gonna have all the games you want, dad wants, kids want, everybody, So that's what I think it's really good with. And like, go for it.
Oh, and this is like their first time really branching out like into like M-rated games. And they did a little bit on the Wii with like Call of Duty Black Ops, which was received really, really poorly. But like now we have stuff like The Witcher 3 on the Switch, which
Witcher 3 was huge. That
yeah,
like
and it
surprised
still
the
is,
hell out of me.
honestly.
Yeah.
But like it's pretty amazing how much branching out they've done with their variety of
Nintendo
games.
has done some of their best IP, some of the best IPs that have been on this Nintendo consoles. So in GameCube era, the M-rated game that really stuck out to me was Eternal Darkness. That was a huge game, and then it read your GameCube card or your GameCube memory card. It like messed with your settings on your TV. Like that was just like a huge deal. Broke the fourth wall. The other two games that were on Nintendo that kind of like broke the mold was Bayonetta. Bayonetta was Wii U exclusive, and then
It's true. Yeah.
and then on the Wii it was Travis Touchdown, which
Oh yeah, that's right.
So there was some M-rated games that have been out, but like with the third-party exclusives, like you said, Witcher, the fact that that's on the Switch is a huge deal. Like,
I
Yeah,
feel like
absolutely it is.
with the Wii U though, they did have Assassin's Creed for the first time on the
Yeah.
Wii U. They
because
did have
Ubisoft, that was Ubisoft,
yeah.
and because that Rayman Origins, I think that's, or Rayman Legends, one of them
Rayman Legends. Yeah.
was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive, and then they were seeing how like poor the Wii U was doing. They
Yeah.
decided to wait 9 months and put it on all the consoles. So that was a huge loss for Nintendo. Even though Ubisoft is still very buddies with them, it was still
Oh,
like
of course.
a huge point. It's like, oh, why should I buy a Wii U when it's coming out on the PS4, Xbox One?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there just like wasn't a lot of good marketing, I think, on the other Nintendo consoles, like Wii U especially. Marketing was very, very poor for that console,
how
and which is a reason why it did not do
Yes.
very well.
Mhm.
I like the Wii U, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like the Switch
Yeah,
never
there's
would have existed.
absolutely a crowd for it.
The Switch would have never existed without the Wii U because it built the base.
Yep.
Because I remember back in the day when the Wii U came out, I remember there weren't that many games for it. I think that's the biggest flaw. But like they had Wind Waker HD. I remember playing Wind Waker. And when did the Wii U come out? Like
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
yeah, I was still in high school, but so I was, living with my parents, and I just remember playing on the TV. And I just remember, you got to get off the TV. So I would just switch to the Wii U screen and play Wind Waker on the screen. And I thought that was such a cool novelty. But of course, you couldn't go farther than a certain amount. So now with
Yeah.
the Switch, you can literally like take it
Walk
on the go.
outside and go for a run
Yeah.
or something, and just
Yeah.
be playing good old Galaxy on there.
This just sounds
Not that I
super
recommend that, but,
irresponsible.
yeah.
Super irresponsible. But I was DoorDash driving the other day.
I was
'cause
playing the
that's what I
Switch
do
at the same
income.
time.
Hold on. I was stuck in a McDonald's drive-through, and I was stuck in there for like an hour getting this guy's order. So guess what I did? I took out my Switch, and I just played Fire Emblem for an hour.
There you
It
go.
was a blast.
It's good for those like dead air situations. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the use I got out of my Switch was like between college classes. I'd go to
Oh,
the
yeah.
lounge, didn't have any homework to do, bro. Like boot up Smash, go whoop some ass. I cannot tell you how many times I would be like walking out of class, I'd see David and Alex
Oh my
chilling in the
God, that whole-
lounge,
yeah, all of
click
you
on the
guys
Switch,
in
be
the
like,
lounge.
"What's up, fuckers?" And then just start whooping ass.
I really
That's
yeah,
why I
I
love
use
Switch.
I use my Switch a lot when I'm like going like out of town. Like I bring it like, when we go on vacation or stuff like that. It's just such a good console just to like take and go anywhere. Like even just the dock and everything you want, if you want to hook it up to a TV, they sell cases and stuff. Like I got like, when I first got my Switch, it was like a year after it all came out because I never buy anything new first time it comes out. I've always been really weird about that, but that's just me.
No, you
So I
just
bought-
take time to do your research. That's all.
Right, like I want to see how it performs. It's like it's the same thing with like cars or airplanes. I'm never gonna buy a brand new car because what if that shit blows up?
Wait,
I
you're
don't
buying
know.
airplanes? I was just
Maybe.
curious. If you're in the market, bro, I guess let me know. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
one for cheap as
I
well.
mean, yeah, guys with we're gonna get guys with beards helicopter, yo. Like,
Yeah,
Down.
we're playing the Switch
Imagine-
while we're
Down.
flying, dude.
Buy a helicopter for like $2,000. It'd probably
we go.
crash.
Dude.
exactly.
Dude.
No, but anyway, they have so much other stuff that you can use to like transport the Switch. Like I got like a $40 case which holds everything you need: 2 controllers, the dock, all that stuff. Like it's a really good system to like take out of town and like do anything you want with it.
The dock
Yeah, absolutely.
itself, which is what you put the Switch in to plug it in the TV, is very portable as well. I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, and it's also durable. It's like the Wii is like the Nokia of consoles, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the Switch is pretty good. Like most
The
of the
Switch
stuff
is
on
very
it.
durable too. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna drop
I've dropped it
real
a
quick.
million times.
It still works. I hope so.
Backpack.
Yeah, it still works.
Oh yeah, he's got the Switch backpack. Here we go. The accessories. That's something that I think I don't think the Switch has had too many big accessories outside of, like Pro controllers are one.
Pro controllers is the best accessory that you
Well,
can buy.
yeah,
Hands down.
I love the Pro controller. I do want to start
Amazing.
talking about the bad shit, but I do love the Pro
Oh, yeah.
controller.
Yeah.
Pro,
I do
Pro
love
controller is
it.
amazing. I had
It's one of
lost
my-
mine for a minute, and I finally found it, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, I think before we go on though, I think we should talk about its little brother / sister, the
Yes.
Nintendo Switch Lite.
Oh yeah,
Dude, that
Which
thing's barely
came
even on
out-
my radar.
Yeah, which came out. Kiara actually got this. My fiance got this Thank you. But it came out, I believe, when was that? September 2019. So it's been out for about
Really?
2
It's been
years.
that long?
Yeah,
It's been
it
2 years.
has.
And honestly, I would, because we were, we had that whole thing of like, when COVID first started, everyone wanted to switch because Animal Crossing, everyone's gonna be stuck inside. So you could not find a Switch at all. So Garrick found this one, literally just the light. She's like, "Do you think I should?" I'm like, "Whatever." Like, you're not gonna be using it that much.
It,
If you ever
it
want,
reminds me a lot of a Game Boy Advance.
right? And
like, straight up.
honestly, this
Yeah.
little thing is quite impressive. Like, it doesn't have all the of a Switch. It doesn't have the removable Joy-Cons. You can't put on a dock or anything. But if
Mhm.
you're just looking for the game portableness of it, it's not bad for $100 off.
That is exactly it. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually touched one of those Switch Lights before, but what I understand, they're just a little less powerful.
Yeah, just a little bit less powerful. It
Yeah.
still has the same graphics though. Like, you still get 720p.
It's in the
off
battery
screen.
life is amazing, and then the
Yeah.
D-pad. The D-pad is completely different. Show them.
Why
Yeah.
don't you show that
Yeah.
bad boy up close to the
Yeah,
camera here? I'm curious.
So you got
Wow, that's a
Wow.
lot better.
Look at that
and then
D-pad. Oh my god.
and then comparative to the Switch.
I like that
mean,
D-pad,
and it's not even that, like, people are like, it's so much smaller than the Switch, but it's really not that much smaller.
Yeah, it's literally just
It's
got
just
a
the
smaller screen a
undetachable
little bit.
Joy-Cons. That's
It's
like
the
biggest thing.
undetachable Joy-Cons and the
screen's a bit smaller.
Yeah, and the
Just a
dock
small
too.
amount,
Like, you
small
can't
amount.
put it onto the dock and have it go up to the TV. That's the two big things that it loses. But for the price, again, like, I think it's like $100 less than the Switch, so it's like, what, $200 compared to $300 or something. Like, it's not a bad little system, and I think it's a really good, if you don't have the funds or you don't have the opportunity to get the full Switch. It's a good, or if you already have a Switch in the house like we do, and then you want that one as like a secondary, it's a really good option. So,
It's also much
Absolutely.
easier to buy a light. Like, it's much easier to get.
yeah.
I was about to say that was the one saving grace of the light. Well, it was less powerful. It was absolutely more available than the Switch was. Especially because we had that huge wave of, it's still going on, of scalpers coming through
Mm-hmm.
and taking all the Switches, buying them out, and selling them for a really, really exorbitant price, which is kind of shitty. It's really shitty in my opinion.
Because when they did a reveal, I think it was on January 12th.
Yep.
I think it was like the reveal 2017, right? They did a reveal, and we were going on a trip to Connecticut. We were going on a trip, and we were gonna take the train, and it was the big, like, it was basically like a conference for all the investors, right? So I remember, like, please come out before that. Please come out. I was like, okay, the console's gonna be $400, and it's probably gonna come out in mid March. That's going to be what's gonna happen. They announced it's coming out March 3rd. Oh shit. And then they announced that it was gonna be $300. That price range is fantastic.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the
it
fact
is.
that
100%.
the new Xbox One S2 47 Alphabet Series 8, the one that came out like last year, the fact that was also $300 shows how influential the Switch's price was on.
Absolutely.
Like,
I think the Switch broke all the other like Nintendo 2017 won. Like, the entire year.
They put out two of the best games of the 2010s. They put out Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. Like, that's just like for a studio to have like that kind of success like once every 5-6 years, but they had that in 1 year. Like, that's just insane.
Yeah. I mean, being a huge console guy like I am, I mean, how I saw it was there was the console war, and then there was the Switch.
Yeah.
Because the Switch was completely outside of it. It was just doing its own thing. There wasn't even need for competition because it was so damn unique. That was like, I wouldn't say it wasn't a console, but like, it was just not even, it was way above that radar.
Yeah.
There was no need for competition because there's nothing like it.
I didn't buy an Xbox One or PS4 that entire generation, but I had a Switch.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had my PC though.
Absolutely.
You know how many PS4s I had?
Just three?
You had
Three.
so many
I had
PS4s.
three
I remember
PS4s.
because I have one of them.
Yeah, dude, as much as like PS4 has great games, I just couldn't.
It's got a lot of issues.
I just couldn't. So that's why the Switch was amazing. It's especially as a mainly PC gamer now, to have the Switch like right by my desk if I'm like downloading something and I need to play a quick game of Tetris 99. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah. So price. Oh, isn't the Switch Lite $200 as well?
Yep.
Yeah, it's 200. Yeah, and that's mostly why we got it too, because at the time, like money was tight. So
And
it's like it was a really good option, man. It was solid.
Speaking of price, everyone was complaining about how expensive the Pro controller was. I just recently went to Walmart and Target, and I saw for both of them that there was $60 for the Pro controller.
That's still a lot of money for a fucking controller, though.
But that
But to be fair,
matches
that's how
market.
much
That-
all control. Yeah, that's how much all controllers are.
Yeah.
And actually, Xbox and PS4, you're more likely to spend 70 to 80 than 60.
Oh yeah, the new PS5
Pro controllers are
yeah.
actually just cheaper.
The
It's-
PS5
I
controllers.
I think it is now. They're cheaper now, at least from what I'm seeing. It could change. It could be just a deal, but
And I think a lot of the recent success of the Switch has been like, with COVID and all this stuff going on. I mean, I was looking at some of the statistics, and basically Nintendo tripled their profits at the beginning of COVID and through COVID,
Oh yeah.
mostly because of the Switch. Legitimately,
Yeah.
it's just like because people were home. Animal Crossing New Horizons just released, and people were looking for an escape. And this little bad boy right here, I mean, this is the reason why like people were just like people that had Switches were feeling better about shit.
Yeah, just
because
to
they
give
were
you- just
buying
to give you-
games, playing with their friends, even without being able to see them super easily. Like
Yeah, just to
perfect.
give you an idea, like in February 2020, as of then, they sold 51.52 million copies of the Switch.
Exactly.
In March, it jumped up to 53 million and 73. They sold 2 million.
what's April?
Sold. April was 55.76. So they were putting 2 million each month.
Yeah,
Like that's insane. And just to give you an idea, they only sold 1.5 million in March, and then obviously in September it jumped up to 7.6.
Yeah,
It's the
they're
only biggest jump.
their global industry sales, since March have topped over $10 billion.
Yeah.
Nintendo has a lot of money.
It's insane.
They got stupid
insane.
money.
All right.
But at
We've
least they're
been-
using it right.
We've been sucking the dick of the Switch for too long here.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
let's
you
start
gotta
talking
get to the good
about-
before you
yeah.
get to the bad.
Let's start talking
To the
about
lawsuits.
no, the bullshit of the Switch, right? Okay, so I'll start off with the third party selection is actually very impressive, but the first party selection coming from Nintendo, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know because
Yeah.
Virtual Console was a big thing on the Wii and the Wii U. If you guys don't know what Virtual Console was, for anybody watching, it was, you could play games from the NES to the Nintendo 64 or the Game Boy Advance. All those games on the Wii and the Wii U is very basic. You got games like Ocarina of Time. You got games like Super Mario 64. You got all these games, and they were like $10 each, sometimes $5, $2 for NES, and that was a big part of it on the Wii and the Wii U that I really liked. That's not anywhere on the Switch. And they've released like Nintendo Switch Online. How do you guys feel about Nintendo Switch Online? Because they put NES games and Super Nintendo games, but you have to pay monthly or
Yeah, I'm half
yearly
and half
to
about
access them.
online for
Yeah.
TVH. The connection's dog ass half the time, but it's cheap as hell.
It's
So,
cheap as hell,
Yeah,
and I
it's-
think we
yeah,
talked
it's-
about
what is
that
it?
in the GameCube versus PS2 versus the Xbox.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
talked about that where it was, it's even though like it is dog ass, there is they know it's dog ass, right? Because one, they're getting new servers because they've been using the servers that we're using on like Windows 95. Like that's the servers they were using. So now
Nice.
they're updating it, and I believe that was like the whole point of presenting Splatoon 3 at the Nintendo Direct was like, okay, even though it's not going to come out for another year, I'm pretty sure they want to push that game's online hella hard.
yeah,
So
definitely.
That's my theory with it. It could be completely wrong, but like that's what I think why they
me-
presented Splatoon 3.
I don't think it excuses the dog shit internet that I've been having to deal with for the past 3 years with the Nintendo Switch
Past 3
Online.
years? You mean the past like 10? Like
Yeah, I mean,
it's been
Nintendo
terrible.
Nintendo is
Yeah.
just horrible with
yeah, I mean,
internet.
they're,
I
they're
don't
on, yeah,
understand.
their online's never been their strong suit.
No, and that's
They're
always
all
been their
about
kind of
home family gaming
Yeah.
way more than online gaming.
But
Absolutely.
however, though, okay, I understand it on the Wii and the Wii U. You can play online for free. You don't get the good internet, but then Nintendo starts charging you, and they're like, "Hold on, we'll give you NES games." How many times have you guys actually played the NES games?
A fair amount.
I
in
play
my
Dr.
case.
Mario like
Yeah.
I mean,
I love
I
Dr. Mario.
love playing those classic. Like personally, that's because I enjoy a lot of those games. But like, I don't know if anybody plays the freaking boxing game on there, but I dive into that shit. Or
Yeah.
the what was it the men's dodgeball game?
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
that
Oh
thing
my
is tight as
God,
fuck,
yes.
dude. If you're not playing dodgeball with the boys, what are you doing?
Yeah,
It's a nice
Um,
bonus, but
it
I
is a
think they
nice
should have
bonus.
fixed their
Absolutely.
internet first and then
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah,
top
I'm
that.
okay with it because it's like what, $20 a year? Is that the?
It's for the individual. It is $20 a year, but then they have the family share.
Family plan.
I think it's 8
Yeah.
people, and it's still
8 people, it was like $5 per person.
Yeah, I think if they fix their internet, as Sean's saying, like they would totally like make it 100%. Like, yep, that's worth it. 100%. Yeah, if your internet isn't a piece of shit, worth it to me.
Now, I
Yeah.
think the big ticket issue with the Switch is a very big ticket issue, which we all know of as the Joy-Con drift. There have been 3 separate class action lawsuits filed against Nintendo for this issue. One in July 19th, 2019, in the District Court of Washington. The second one in October 5th, 2020 in California. And then the third in November 17th of 2020 in Washington again, all being cited under unfair, deceptive, and or fraudulent business
Yeah.
practices and false advertising. None of which I believe anything came of. So apparently on the last case, the court has yet to rule on it. But Nintendo has filed a motion to compel arbitration, which is still in the middle of it. But
Well, because
Yeah, I
if
don't
you
know.
send in your Switch or your Joy-Con,
it's very strange.
they say they'll fix it. It's the same thing with the Red Ring of Death from the Xbox 360.
Jesus. Ugh.
And I had Joy-Con drift. I had to get a whole new Joy-Con. I was just like, I'm not dealing with this. $40. I played my Switch, like at the time I was playing it every day. I'm like, whatever, I'll get it. No, it sucks, and Nintendo and all those companies will probably not get punished for that. So it sucks.
Oh, I doubt it. I very much doubt it.
However, something I just heard recently, I don't know how true it is that the PS5 controller is also having the same issue. That's I've been hearing. There's been a lot because they use some of the same materials to make the controllers. So
Let's see.
That's what I heard. Could be completely false, but I find that very interesting. That
It is one of the first things that comes up when I search PS5 controller.
I
PS5
haven't,
controller drift.
yeah, wow.
I haven't had the drip problem on my Switch, but it I honestly don't really like the Joy-Cons that much.
I love the Joy-Cons. I like I get that because they're tiny, and when you hold them in handheld mode, some people just do not like them. But I'm
the same way.
with the podcast when we did the controllers. I and I still stand by. I can play any game with any controller. I don't really care.
Oh, 100%. I don't give a shit what it is.
Never mind. I'm not saying that. I was gonna say I'm
Demon.
Yeah, controller demon. Let's just say that.
I mean, whether that's N64, GameCube, PS, Xbox, Switch, all that stuff. I'm of the same mind where I enjoy pretty much any controller I can get my hands on.
Hold on. You brought up Nintendo 64, right?
Yeah.
There's one Nintendo 64 game on the Switch as of now.
Mario 64.
Well, actually, that's not true. That's not true. There are other Nintendo 64 games, but there's not a lot of them.
No.
Like I saw Doom 64. I mean, I'll look it up officially, so I'm correct. But compared to the Wii that had a bunch of Nintendo 64 games, and the fact that they just have not released Nintendo 64 games, I get it. But where are the GameCube games?
I feel like everyone's been saying that since like the Wii, like
Yeah.
they had the GameCube games that you could play on the Wii, and then the Wii U happened, and they're like,
So even Wii games like Dolphin is very easy to emulate. It's very
here's my
easy
big
to do.
issue with that. So we are asking for them. We're not the only people asking for Wii games and 64 games, and they have put a couple on there. Most recently, Skyward Sword is being released for
$60.
for $60,
Ridiculous.
which is where my big issue comes in. With something like I bought the Mario 3-pack, the All Stars 3-pack, which
Alright.
that is
I did not. I
Alright.
did not.
it takes advantage of people who like those
It's time to
games.
talk about the last
Yep.
Nintendo Direct.
Yep.
Oi, Nintendo, what the fuck are you doing? Oh my god, it pissed me off.
Did you know on WWE All Stars Big Edition?
Dude, the DC Supergirl game looks stupid. Why would they have that at a main Nintendo Direct and not like at an indie sideshow?
I'm just more the issue for me is that it was their first one of the year, or like this
Since,
part of the year.
No, the last real Nintendo Direct I believe was at the end of 2019.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So their first real one back was not a strong showing.
dude, it was terrible. And the fact that the best game was Mario Golf, kind of like,
Hold on.
why?
They did announce
Why?
Splatoon 3. They did announce a new Smash character, and I
Oh,
don't. Hold
cool!
on.
Another sword fighter. Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
not big
I'm
on.
legit. Yeah, I don't
I'm
know
not
who that
big on
character
Xenoblade
is.
Chronicles, but I know there are some people out there. Like when Byleth came out, I know everybody here hates Byleth, but I like Byleth because I played Fire Emblem Three Houses extensively. So I like Byleth, but so I can imagine there are some people that like Xenoblade Chronicles, but I kind of understand that like it's another anime-esque character in
Literally,
Smash.
I just want more
characters-
variety.
The characters are swords. It's literally like there's two
Yeah, we
anime
have-
swords people, and then all of a
It's-
sudden, okay,
yeah.
here's just a sword. Like they're literally
Like-
sword. Like it's
To all the
Piss me
Xenoblade
off.
fans, congratulations. It's probably a cool character for those that like that game. But like, I bet you if we looked at the amount of
Dude.
audience that
Look
plays
at Dave-
Smash, I
look at
bet you
David's
not
face.
that many know
To
exactly
be
what
fair, though,
Xenoblade
it is a Japanese console first.
It is.
So
it doesn't matter if you're gonna sell it globally. Oh, like okay. There's one anime swordsman that everyone would be freaking out over, and it's fucking Sora. Like if Sora was in the game, what?
I don't. If
I can agree
Sora
with David
came
on
out
that.
on Switch, I would be like, what?
That would make the most sense. Sora,
Dude, you're telling me you don't want to see the Smash Ultimate move where Donald and Goofy come in and go, we got your back, Sora, and then they beat the fuck out of Pikachu. You don't want to see that, dude?
Too
That
hard to
would be
copyright.
but that doesn't matter. It's still the imagination. It's still like it's Sora's a video game character. Final Fantasy, that's Square Enix, you know. So it's like
I don't think they're doing enough branching out personally in their DLC characters for Smash.
why
but,
isn't Master Chief Smash yet? Why?
Well, I think
there were
they
some
put-
potential leaks though.
Because he's
for
too
new
busy in
characters.
Fortnite, Dave.
I think they put Xenoblade Chronicle character there to get people to buy Xenoblade, right? Like that's kind of like to get people to buy it. That makes sense to me. But yeah, I would like Master Chief on the Switch, but Halo is not on the Switch, so
I'm excited about the Star Wars Hunters game. That's my 2 cents.
Oh, yeah.
That's like all I
Yeah,
got.
there wasn't. But for me, there
That's
wasn't
it.
anything I was interested in at all in the
Oh.
last direct. I watched it. I literally skimmed through it, went, "Wow, that's disappointing," and then clicked off of it.
It was
Yep.
it was super disappointing. And you know what? I will give credit where credit is due. It is COVID. Obviously, there's some things that can happen, right?
COVID messed up a lot of things.
It did.
Video game
Yeah.
development,
So
Cyberpunk.
I totally understand. Like of course like I'm like fake mad, but at the same time, come on.
There's they have rumors for the next two characters that have been circulating around, but
Is it
The
who-
last
is it
rumors were
Ninja
somewhat
Gaiden
true.
and Crash?
Nope. it's
Oh.
Crash and Monster Hunter.
It can't be Monster Hunter because they put in
No,
the
Monster Hunter
skins.
makes sense. They
Cause
just
Monster Hunter
released-
makes a lot of sense.
They just
Yeah.
released they just announced Monster Hunter Rise for the Switch.
The file name was like Proof of a Hero.
The thing is, they just
don't
made me skins of the Monster Hunters. So that
Doesn't mean they wouldn't put them in the game.
yeah, Gino, Rex, all characters.
Those are
that have been-
those are
We'll
examples
see.
that just covers Geno. I mean, Monster Hunter is huge in Japan, and like we said, if we've seen anything from Xenoblade Chronicles,
Let
they
me
like
just-
their
Let
Japanese.
me just say this: I just don't want another fucking sword fighter.
It's too late. You're
Please.
gonna for every
Please.
one non-sword fighter character, there is an equal or opposite.
Wait,
sword
does
fighter
Steve
character.
count as a
For
sword fighter?
five,
Does
for-
Steve
Yeah.
count as a sword fighter?
No,
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
I don't think so.
he uses a sword.
I mean,
Ah.
Steve was ridiculous. I think that's when I stopped playing Smash.
I-
to be
I
honest.
ca- okay.
No.
For as much
Steve
as I was
fun.
against that idea, he is a really neat concept for a character.
Yes.
I have to admit that.
It does suck that they couldn't get the music. Like they didn't get the music. They should
That's
put
probably
something in.
that's our rights thing for sure.
Yeah, music lawyers and shit like that.
I don't know.
It gets heavy.
Let's call C418 right now and
Or-
see what they think.
Although
let's
I
get
don't know
him
if
on- get him on the line.
I don't know if I can imagine myself fighting to the brr, 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 brr. It's like beating the fuck.
Yeah, yeah,
out of the
yeah.
blood, you know?
It'd be
I mean,
so soothing.
I don't know.
I think people like to think of Smash Bros as like the collection of all like the best video games,
Actually, that's
fighting each other.
Fortnite.
but like
Get out of here.
From a,
So it
from
makes-
a sales perspective, it makes sense why Xenoblade Chronicles is in there because it sells a lot in Japan.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is. This is not a Smash podcast though. We're gonna get off.
Yeah.
No, but it's
Um,
It was gonna happen. You all knew
yeah,
it
of
was
course,
gonna
of
happen.
course.
because it's part of the Nintendo Direct, and that there were so many turn-based RPGs.
Yeah.
So
a lot.
many.
A lot.
I think what was it? 3, 4, 7?
Ooh.
20?
I
There
think it was
weren't that
3.
many. There's not. I mean, what?
There was
What's a
literally a
turn-based
game called
RPG?
the Triangle Strategy,
Oh yeah, the
What?
triangle strategy.
and then they had like the epic narrator. Like, sign up for this. We can understand how your battle strategies.
I think the video that sums it up really well is Donkey's. And he was just
Yeah.
like, here comes Metroid. Because what is it? Wasn't it like an anniversary for Metroid?
It's
Yeah.
Mario 35th.
Actually.
It was Mario 35th. Like, pretty sure
Um,
like the date was like a
Couple
way
days
back
ago. A couple days ago, yeah.
And
it was
isn't Legend of
Alright.
Zelda 35 now? Ooh, it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the Metroid franchise just turned 35 at the week that Direct came out. And so everybody was expecting a Metroid news, and we got nothing.
Well-
and the fan base was upset.
I honestly think because Metroid Prime 4 was like announced when the Switch came out, and that was supposed to be like a reason to buy the Switch, but we haven't heard anything from it, and it's just a little update. We know a
it's
few years back
Sour taste.
the Nintendo basically said, we're not happy with this game, which is the right thing to do because we don't want another
absolutely.
Cyberpunk disaster.
Yep.
Because if Metroid Prime 4 came out and it sucked as much as Cyberpunk kind of sucks in a lot of ways, that would have been
It
could have
outrageous.
killed the
Bet
series.
you,
It
I
coulda
bet you
killed the
100% they
series.
were looking at Cyberpunk and they went, "Oh my god, I'm really glad we pushed
No,
this back." you
no,
know?
yeah, okay, yeah, but Cyberpunk came out way after they pushed
Yeah,
it
yeah.
back.
Yeah. Oh
Right.
yeah.
But it's still wild to me. It's wild to me though. This comes back to them re-releasing old games because people would buy them.
Yeah.
They have Metroid Prime Trilogy would be a perfect game for the Switch.
Yeah, they're gonna charge $60 for though.
I don't know. It's whatever. I
Ugh.
would probably still buy it because I love Metroid Prime. I've
Yeah,
always wanted
that's one where
Metroid Prime on
I
the
might
Switch.
cave because I really,
But that's the
I
problem.
don't want to say that
That's the
because
problem. Yeah,
they know people will cave.
Yeah.
and that's the state of the Switch right now. It's Nintendo has been absolutely god awful in 2020. They started off the year
they've been
with
abusing nostalgia.
yeah, and they started off the year with Animal Crossing, and that was great. You know, that was excellent. Got nominated for the Game of the Year. It saved a lot
yeah,
of
it
people's
deserved
like time and mental state. So that was awesome. But with the whole Melee fiasco and the whole just the bad games. I'm not even gonna say bad games because they're probably not even bad. It's just no games that I feel that Western audiences
Overpriced.
are gonna like. I
Yeah,
just
they're just overpriced for what they are.
and then the Mario the 3D All Stars. The fact that it's going to be stopped releasing soon. I think it is stopped.
Yeah, it has stopped. It stopped in the beginning of March, I believe.
Why? What is the point of that? Is it a collector's edition?
That's where my concern comes in. Is I am very concerned for that business practice continuing on in the future. I just that's not where I want to see Nintendo go because
No.
that makes them more like PlayStation or Xbox. When Nintendo has had its own unique feel and its attitude toward its view, its playership, and has been very different towards than Xbox
Yeah,
or
exactly.
PlayStation.
And it's
You
not,
know?
and it's not even that long ago where Nintendo felt like Nintendo. 2017 Nintendo needs to be there every year. That's just
Prime
Nintendo.
time Nintendo. That was Nintendo
was
at the
Nintendo.
fucking top of its game.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
And if they need to capitalize on that, obviously they can't do that every year. It's impossible. You know, we're setting these expectations as
well,
consumers.
they're the ones setting them the expectations for themselves, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
We expect that now because they've done such a good job in the past.
Well, it's the
Um,
fact that they haven't been releasing games that they should be. Like they have a giant collection of games since going back to the late 80s. And they're
yeah,
not
early
releasing
80s.
them.
I mean, I
Uh,
have a bit of a theory personally, and I think it could be related to the kind of like the passing of the torch from Reggie to Doug Bowser, at least on the Western side of things. I think that maybe Doug Bowser is still kind of finding his footing, more or less, especially with COVID and all this stuff going on. I feel like they're trying to set up a lot of big stuff, and so they need stuff to fill that gap, you know? Because I think we're in the valley of Nintendo right now. Before you reach the mountain, you got to be in the valley, and that's kind of me being a little bit hopeful. But I mean, I feel like we have a lot of big stuff that's in the works. We already know about, like Metroid 4, Breath of the Wild 2. There's a lot of like big titles out there that are waiting to release. So I feel like they're just going to drop all these bombs at once, instead of like periodically.
Yeah.
But
I think I think we
personally
should.
how I feel about
I think we should go and talk about now the future of the Switch. Then, like, what do we
Hmm.
see? What is coming out next? I know we have
Absolutely.
some rumors coming out now about possibly a new Switch, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know much about it though. I actually just heard about this a couple days ago. Actually,
I
even last night, I think was the first time I really heard about
I
it.
think the idea of a new Switch is stupid, and that's just my opinion. So here's my reasoning. And one, I'll go back to the beginning of the podcast when I talked about the Wii U. The Wii U came out. Nintendo was like, "We're with this console for a while," and then they just dropped it out of nowhere. And I feel like if they did that with the Switch, I feel like video game consoles should be around for 7 years.
Oh well, they're not getting rid of the Switch.
I don't think
it's
they'd
an
ever get
updated
rid of the
version.
Switch.
It's like the Xbox
Okay.
360 and then the Xbox 360 S or the Elite, whatever it
Or
was.
the Xbox One, Xbox One S, and the
Yeah,
Xbox
it's
One, yeah.
like
Here's where I
that.
think the difference comes in. I think the base for the Switch is a lot stronger than the base for the Wii U. Not throwing the Wii U under the bus here, but the Wii U is literally the precursor for the Switch.
Yep.
That is why it got kind of shit on.
Do we need
sucks
a
to see it.
newer Switch though? Like when people play the Switch, like they're not looking at graphics, they're not looking at performance, they just want to play good games.
I think if this is the route they're going, I think Nintendo's going into the route of, okay, we're gonna make our online better, we're gonna make 4K quality, we're putting out fucking games that are gonna
They're
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
that's-
on track. And
I kind of agree with Sean in this aspect. I personally think that one of two things is going to happen. Either one, they need to focus on fixing the current state of the Switch, getting drift under fucking control, getting better internet connection. But on the flip side of that, that also might be literally what they're going for with this new version of the Switch that's being
That's what I'm
rumored.
thinking,
That's what I'm
yeah.
They're
thinking,
talking
yeah.
about, a new 4K screen, a updated Joy-Con that doesn't have that drift issue. They've already had that in the works for a long time, that they are working on that and getting that issue fixed. And then, also just better internet. I believe that's something they've been mentioned that they've been trying to, make better for a while now.
Yeah.
And so on the flip side, I can see that's probably why they're like, well, why not just do a complete overhaul and release something slightly newer? Have a new marketable product, which where I'm at is I'd rather like to see them fix what they're currently doing and then release something that's better, that has a better base
Oh.
that they've already fixed.
I'll say this: if they just dropped the Switch and they released a new
Yeah.
console, I would flip my shit. And
I don't
they've
think they're
never,
gonna do that.
practice.
They're not gonna
yeah,
do that.
they've never done it with a home console. And I was about to say it's not a very Nintendo thing, but then I realized, wait a second, they did this all the time with handhelds. They had the DS, then they had the DSi, then they had the 3DS, and then they had a second 3DS.
3DS XL,
So
and then they had the
Yeah.
the
3D
2DS,
2DS,
and then they had
yeah.
the new 2DS, and then they had the
yeah,
the new cat where you can actually have dog functionalities on it. Did you
So
know?
it
Did you
would
hear about
be-
that?
no, I had no idea.
What?
What are you talking
What?
about?
It's
James,
Cat 2.0, guys. Feline.
I hate-
Whatever.
Fuck off.
But that's new for Nintendo when it comes to home consoles, but it's not new for them when it comes to handhelds. So
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it. I'm probably not going to buy it. I don't think graphics or 4K is really why I play Switch.
Well, dude, battery life. If they can have an improved battery life,
That is what I would like to see legitimately, is some better battery life. Honestly, that would be fucking perfect.
and if
you
that
listening, Nintendo? You listening? Write it down.
if that's what they're
Listen,
promising,
Doug Bowser.
Doug,
Send this to him.
How many hours is good? How many hours are we looking for?
5. I think 5 from a
I
portable.
think it's reasonable.
Like, because the
Yeah.
3DS,
What?
the 3DS was decent. It wasn't like
Yeah, how much is
Spectacular.
that battery life? I'm
Current
gonna look it up.
battery life is like 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3
Max.
hours.
It says the original Switch model averaged 2.5 to 6.5 of portable playtime.
I have never gotten.
When you play Breath of the
never gotten
Wild,
5
you're
to
gonna
6
get
hours.
about 3 hours. Breath of the Wild.
I have
will get
never
you
gotten
about
5 hours out of mobile unless somebody's got the beast, like the biggest beastest Switch out there. I have never gotten 5
Well,
hours
they
out of mobile.
actually
Switch.
did release a new Switch that its main functionality was to improve the battery life. It's
Really?
like, yeah, there's an updated model. So
So interestingly enough, according to official Nintendo, their website, the 3DS had a 3 to 5 hour battery life. However, when using backwards compatibility and using like old DS games on the 3DS, it was 5 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
And when they came out with the 3DS XL, it brought it to 3.5 to 5.5 hours, so an extra 30 minutes, or 6 to 10 hours as compared to 5 to 8 when using backwards. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be
I
new
think
for
I
them.
think 3 to
do
5
that.
is a pretty sweet spot.
yeah, it's
You
perfect.
know, I think that 3 hours max is kind of unacceptable for something that's marketed as being
Yeah.
a huge mobile console. So I think finding that sweet spot of above 3, maybe to 5 and 6 max is a really, really good spot to be at. for
However,
battery life.
it wouldn't bother me that much because they do have ways to like charge it while you're playing it, so
They
it's
do.
not that big
I
of
mean,
an
But the
issue.
whole point of the Switch is just to bring the Switch.
Yeah,
Right.
it's to be
Yeah.
able to take it off the dock, go maybe down to your friend's house. If they don't have a dock, you play it there for 5 hours, come back. You know, like that
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
5 hours is a long time to play a video
It
game,
is.
though, in a
It is.
handheld kind of position.
But tell me, when you're grinding on those indie games or those $3 games you're buying on the store, you're probably trying out a lot of different games. You're probably playing for an extended period of time on a Sunday like this,
Just
right?
last night, we went to my brother's house. Hi, Jacob.
Hi.
We played Minecraft. We played Minecraft, and that's so cool that you can play. I was playing on my PC. Kiara was playing on her Switch. Jacob was playing on the Xbox. You know, it's cool that we can do that, and the fact that Kiara has to plug it in, you know, because the battery life is not that good. It's like that kind of sucks. Like that.
It's not a deal breaker, but like it's a nice quality of life thing you can do for
Exactly.
the console, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just, yeah, it's that a better battery life, better internet, and that
Although-
would just be great for the Switch.
I think we've covered a lot of the bad stuff on the Switch here, and we've covered a lot of
I
the
want to
good.
say one more bad thing. It's
Yeah,
just
of
a
course.
minor complaint. There's no Netflix on the Switch.
Yes, I
there's
would
no-
like video streaming services.
There's
on
no
the Switch.
Crunchyroll. I know Disney Plus. I don't really give a crap about it, but it's a thing now. There's no service for that.
They are missing out.
No
by not
service
having
for
that.
Amazon. They just have Hulu and YouTube. And YouTube's kind of great. Like YouTube's always fun and
Yeah.
Hulu's all right. But I just it's probably such a small thing. Like they probably just have to a simple phone call, just like, hey, we've had this console out for 3 years now. We should probably put Netflix on it.
Or
'cause
at
the Wii
least
had it,
a browser.
The Wii U had it.
At least
Yeah.
at least a browser.
Yeah, because it would be kind of cool. Like the Switch is the kind of console where you should be able to press the home screen and then go to a browser and like look up shit about your
But they
games.
they
You
need
can't
to
do that.
They need to establish between themselves as a gaming console and as a media console, right? When the Xbox One was released, it was using heavy to be the next like cable box, and that was a
Yeah.
huge failure. So
I use mine as a cable box pretty much. It's all I use.
yeah,
my Xbox
exactly.
for.
So it's we need to find that, or not we. We're not Nintendo. Like Nintendo needs to find like a nice balance of gaming and media. And I think
I mean,
go ahead.
I don't the systems have the capability. Like I'm gonna bring this back to the Wii. And back in
Yeah.
the day, I modded my Wii. And I still have a modded Wii to this day. And I modded it where you can put a DVD into the Wii and
what are
you can watch it. And so the hardware's there. The hardware's there. The Wii is more than capable. If whatever dude, thank God for this, whatever dude like programmed the ability to do that, like it exists.
That's pretty cool. That is
And
really cool.
I don't know why Switch just is like, all right, let's just not put Netflix on. We're a gaming console. It's just put Netflix on it. I don't get it. It's not a big deal. Like I remember like a year ago, I was watching, was I watching on my Wii? And I hooked it up to a CRT. It was actually kind of hype. What's the movie with Chris Farley where he's a
Tommy Boy?
ninja?
Oh,
No, not Tommy
Beverly
Boy.
Hills
Cartoon.
Ninja, right?
Beverly Hills Ninja. Yep, I was watching that movie on my Wii, connected to a CRT, and it was awesome.
That sounds
Eating my
kinda hype.
Cheerios and chocolate milk. Yeah.
We don't need a DVD player on the
Yo,
Switch.
could someone
like,
go on
it's
their
kinda
Switch and look up Hulu?
Sure.
I'm reading articles that's saying there's a way you can get to it.
Wait,
No,
And you-
Hulu's on the Switch.
Yeah, who's on this?
Who's
There's also
Switch?
one saying there's one for Netflix, but you have to do. There's like a weird way you can get Netflix on your Switch if you have a smart TV.
What?
Yeah.
Well, if you have a smart
okay,
TV,
Steve.
you already have
Yeah,
Netflix.
Well, yeah. But hold on. But it's like
you
saying-
go
it's
on
like
your
saying you
remote-
can, it's saying you
Hold
can like
on.
download the application. There's like a workaround for getting Netflix on your Switch.
I got Hulu right here.
It's
Well,
not
let's put
officially
on-
supported.
I
But there's
don't.
apparently a workaround on it.
But there's
Actually,
the problem.
I think I know what you're talking about. Is that you go to like a help thing and then it goes into a URL and then you put
Yeah.
and then you have the URL and you put on Netflix.
That's too much. That's too
I mean,
much.
No,
honestly,
that's
but
stupid.
to have Netflix on the Switch though, if you don't until it gets released officially, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to help out the viewers watching Netflix on their Switch, bro. Come on.
Here's the
All right,
guys with beards breaking down the corporations and telling you how to get there.
No, here's the problem with Nintendo though, is people have been saying this for many years. I'll reiterate it. They're kind of stupid when it comes to business decisions, but they're great at making games. And they're kind of great at making consoles. Like the Switch is a great console. It has a lot of potential. Their single party games are great, but they just make horrible business decisions. Like they could probably have double the money they had if they listened to the fans, re-released games that people actually wanted, and just did simple shit like put Netflix on it.
And
I
that's
mean,
But they
normally
just
they're pretty
don't.
good
They
about
don't.
listening to fans.
that's
They don't give a shit.
I think.
That's the
They're-
issue, and I think we should give closing thoughts soon. And this
Yeah.
will be mine. I think with the Xbox and the Switch, they start off pretty damn strong. I do. I think that if you look at the Xbox 360, they had whop 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 every like these amazing games. Same with the Wii, right? The Wii opened with Twilight Princess, Brawl came out. But as you go later in its life, they go down. The game quality, they go down. And that's what I feel like we're with the Switch almost. And then you have Sony. When the Sony console comes out, it's not as strong. But you give it a couple years, and you're going to have some gems like God of War. You're going to have Last of Us. You're going to have the Uncharted 4. Like, the fact that that game can run on a base PS4 and look that damn good is amazing. So that's why I think Sony's doing so well, is that even though it takes some time to get their games like good to go, like that their just quality is just amazing because they spend time understanding the console and then they just make everything for it.
We'll
Absolutely.
talk more about Sony and the new Xbox on our next podcast.
Ooh.
Just to give you guys a little bit of
Foreshadowing. What is
spoilers.
this? What is this?
Spoiler alert.
and if you're watching this when it's already out, our next podcast, go and check it out for sure.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about
the
like the new
future.
consoles and the PC and stuff. So we'll get more into stuff like that.
It's
and we'll look
amazing of
back
what
into
the budget
PS4.
can do. What our new budget.
I guess my kind of closing thoughts on the Switch is that I do agree with you on that with you, David, that the Xbox and PlayStation are kind of slow starter consoles, but they end up being really, really good at the end of their lifespan. Switch is kind of the reverse of that. Starts out super strong and it's kind of petered out a little bit. We're at a very critical moment, I believe, in the Switch's lifespan where they either got to decide if they're going to let it sink or swim. I hope they let it swim and don't just fucking abandon it, which I don't think they will. It's too big of a market for them and too big of a product for them to abandon it. So what I'm hoping to see is some improvements for the base Switch that would just make it more marketable, and then worry about the release for the new Switch a little bit later on. Focus on getting some better AAA titles, delivering on some promises that the fan base is waiting on. We're just in a very, we're in that valley, we're in the dead zone for the Switch right now. So it's going to be very, very crucial what their next step is, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well said. Go ahead, Jake or Sean. Jacob.
Yeah. No, Jacob, you go first.
I mean, I'm agreeing with Kyle 100%. I think we're in the stage right now where it's either you let the Switch be its thing and it's a turning point. Like it's a fork in the road. You can either let this thing do its thing and keep going with it, make it the best thing you can do with it, or you can literally say, all right, let's start designing a new console. It takes 5 years development to do that. Let's start now.
That is a great point that you guys said, because it's the same thing with the Xbox. They're riding on Halo Infinite, I think.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think
100%.
I think that's the biggest thing with all these companies too, is they have one goal in mind. And it's like with those other, it's not just they always just stay on that one goal, but they don't realize that all these other things lead into that one goal. Like they want to have the best console ever. I think that's every game company saying, like, I want to have the console that people talk about forever. But they don't see that all these AAA games, all these cool things it comes with. The Switch honestly could be the last console that Nintendo makes, and they could make it fucking awesome. They really could. They just come out with different models, like how the iPhone will always be like the iPhone, but you just have the same idea. They can do the same thing with the Switch if they go down this route. But I think that's where they're at right now. They're deciding if that's what they want to do, or if that's not what they want to do.
I completely understand that. Yeah.
So I think that's where we're at right now, and obviously we're not the people to make the decisions. But I hope that Nintendo is listening to people like us. So give us money and sponsor us.
Bunch of white dudes.
No, I'm not saying just us, but just the fan base in general.
Actually, here's what's wrong with your company, Nintendo.
All right, so here's my thoughts. I don't think Nintendo does listen. I think this is just my opinion. I think they have a certain amount of pride, and there's this mix in Nintendo, and you'll see it. That's why things like Super Mario 3D All Stars kind of shocked us and stuff like that, is because you get this feeling that Nintendo has a lot of pride and they want to make this gaming console for gamers first, and that's why they wouldn't put Netflix on the Switch. But then you there's another side of Nintendo where they're really money grubby, And
Yeah,
I
the
just
cash
kinda,
grabs on the mobile games are crazy.
yeah. And Nintendo
Yeah.
wasn't really known for that at all, and they had pride to turn away from that, but they're starting to do it, but they're not being like, if they wanted to be super cash grabby, they could totally do it. They could get away with it. They could release all their previous games, like I've been saying, over the past 30 years and just re-release them for $20 each. They would make a killing. But they're not.
And people would buy them too. That's yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
100% people would buy them. No doubt.
Everyone would drop these $250 for every single game they ever wanted, and
But-
yeah.
I think a good company, the company that I know Nintendo to be in my mind, would not do that. Personally,
So they've done. I mean, it's Super Mario
They've done it
3D
before.
All Stars was like
Yeah.
$60 for a Wii.
I just don't want them to
GameCube.
continue that practice because
Yeah.
it's really, that's not the Nintendo I want to see. Right.
But
So-
so I don't know. Honestly, don't know where they're gonna go. Nintendo does surprise me. They always surprise me. They always go against my expectations, like they did with the Switch. Like I started out, I didn't like it, and now I do. But I think there's a lot it could be, and I'm not hating on the Switch. I just think there's a lot that could be done.
You gotta be. I think to be completely transparent. We're being this critical of it because we love it. We want to see something we already love extremely get better. And personally, when I criticize something a lot, it's because I really enjoy it. If I didn't give a shit about it, I wouldn't be talking about it like this. I'd be, well,
Yeah.
you know, it's just the Switch. It's whatever. You know, it's how I feel about like the Xbox One. You know, like I don't give a shit about it, so I'm not going to talk about it.
We're not doing. We're not doing a podcast about the Google Stadia. You know?
We're not here to just
we
bash
definitely
it.
could. We definitely could.
We're here to talk about possible improvements for
So I
something we'd love to see go way higher in the future.
I know we just give our closing thoughts, but what's your guys' favorite games on the Switch? Or favorite game? We'll narrow it down. And I'll just say Breath of the Wild, easy my pick. Best Switch game.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Look at mine.
It's like one of two. One that I really got into and I've logged a shitload of fucking hours into on the Switch is Enter the Gungeon. Straight up, that is what got me on the indie grind on the Switch is Enter the Gungeon. And after I bought Enter the Gungeon, I was like, what else is on this console? So I'm going to say Enter the Gungeon. It's not a Switch exclusive, but it's what cemented like me enjoying the mobile aspect of the Switch. So Enter the Gungeon.
I'm going to go ahead and...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to be basic here and say Mario Kart 8.
That's a great game. That's a great game.
Option, dude.
I love that game, dude. My god! Anytime I play that game, it's like nostalgia, childhood.
That's a badass choice.
Here's my thing though. That's a re-release. Enter the Gungeon has been released on other consoles. Mario Kart 8 is a re-release from the Wii U.
They had updated things where you can hold 2 items, and they add all the DLC.
Well, I mean, honestly,
2 items.
Honestly,
nice.
Mario Kart 8 is
for me.
Mario Kart 8 is like all the maps, all the cars.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
But I love it. I
mean, I never owned the Wii U or anything like
that.
So like, you know,
that is something we did miss, that the Switch has a bunch of Wii U ports because no one played the Wii U. So
well, they don't have enough though. They haven't released enough. Like there's a bunch of Wii U games, like the Mass Effect series is on the Wii U.
That's true.
And like, why haven't they just ported it over to the Switch? Like, why? It wouldn't take that much.
There's a trailer out for the Switch.
Okay.
Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yep. So that's already on the way.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's just a little thing. All right.
But
go on. What is your
my
favorite
game for the Switch? So we're not doing exclusives, just favorite games.
No, you can do exclusives, but if you
whatever
say Fire Emblem,
Emblem,
the podcast is over.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I'm looking at my most played game on the Switch, and it's Fire Emblem 3 Houses. That's just my most played game on the Switch. I have. Hold on.
We all remember the Fire Emblem era, dude.
It's been excellent. Guys later.
And edit our screen.
Hold on, my second played game.
If David, if you're editing this, you could take it out of take David's screen out of here. Get him out of here.
All right. But also Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is my second most played game. That's what got me to get a Switch, and I've had countless fun with it. Countless hours of fun with it. It's a great party game. It's awesome. We got
to do podcasts on each of the Smash Bros.
Yeah, we'll do a Smash Bros. Podcast. But I never bought Mario Kart 8.
Beards, a series.
I was burned out by it on the Wii U. I played it enough on the Wii U, so I never bought it on the Switch. But I mean, there are just a lot of individual games that I think are great on the Switch. I'll just talk about a few of them here. Dark Souls. The first Dark Souls remastered
Oh yeah,
was a
I own that
great
shit.
game. It's fun on mobile. It's fun at home. It's like games like
Still
that.
frustrating as it's ever been.
Yeah. Or
Overwatch on the Switch.
Is that
yeah.
a thing?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it is actually. And
Kyle.
just a lot of
Sorry.
little games like
Oh, sorry,
Lethal
man.
League
Get out of my
is
system.
Lethal
Lethal League is great.
It's the perfect.
Lethal League. Oh shit! I forgot about Lethal League.
They got Cuphead on the Switch. They got I guess they have something called Clock Simulator.
Ooh.
I don't know.
This is
Just
probably
random
clock.
here. Yeah, it's just a
Wow,
clock.
what an era-defining game.
Hey, I don't
Um,
see the PS4 having no fucking clock games. So
It has Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition.
You're fucking right. It's the best
No.
console ever, dude.
Yeah, it
dude.
has-
Fuck, man.
play into his biases, man.
Yeah, dude.
It has Night Trap the 25th Anniversary Edition.
I don't know what that is.
Night Trap isn't that like a very, very controversial game?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible game, but it's on the Switch and it's kind of funny. Yeah, they just have a lot of great games. I could go on for hours, but
Yeah,
it's hard to say my overall favorite because there's so many of them. But yeah, they have Hollow Knight on the Switch. That's
Hollow
great.
Knight
Animal
is-
Crossing.
Oh shit!
You have Goat Simulator, Shovel
guess-
Knight.
I guess we're all saying there's something for everybody to enjoy on the Switch. It is the ultimate family console, in my opinion.
We're just yearning for new. We're yearning for new.
We just want to see it go, go higher and higher and get better and
Yeah.
better. So for those that have a Switch out there, let us know what your favorite Switch game is. Let us know what you want to see improved on the Switch. Maybe there's something you really like, or something you fucking hate.
And while you're at it, go smash that subscribe button.
Go
Hit
smash that
fucking like
subscribe
button.
button.
Ding that bell.
If we hit 500 subscribers by the end of March, we're gonna play Fortnite on the Switch.
Maybe more like maybe if we get 20,000 subscribers, man. I don't want to sit through that torture.
How about never? Maybe that's an idea.
All right.
Fucking...
Hey, I played it on the Switch before. I do it again.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Do it live. Do it live.
All right,
All right.
Sean.
I think
All
we're
right.
about ready to round it off here.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
well, this was fun. If you don't have a Switch, you might want to consider it. It's a good
Might.
console, but there's a lot of stuff to think about though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff to improve on. But I have fun with it. I'm glad I purchased it for 300
Oh, yeah.
bucks. It's pretty nice. If you can somehow get it for 300 bucks, I wouldn't pay more. But if you could get it for that with a
Yeah,
game,
don't buy
it's
from the
worth it.
scalpers.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
Do not.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm Sean. This is the guys with beards.
I'm Jacob.
I'm David.
I'm Kyle.
Oh, that was almost bad. Almost
Yep.
bad.
It's good. It's good.
We did it.
And
We did
yeah,
it.
hold
Woo,
on.
so-
Make sure you guys join our Discord. Check out our Twitches. Everything's in the description. And see you guys next time.
Yep.
Have a
Bye,
good one.
guys.
Bye, everybody. Bye.